play for 10. Came off the bench. I get it in. I get it in. I get it in. Wait for my wins. I need my ends. This life is real. Can't play for 10. Came off the bench. I get it in. I get it in. I get it in. I miss my baby, so I hit them on the FaceTime. I need it all for them, so no, I cannot waste time. Facing these oceans, feel the water on my waistline. We trust the process and I only know it takes time. You can get it. Got no worries, I'm gon' make. Go hard, or go home, go home, go hard, go hard, or go home, go hard, go hard, or go home, go home, go hard, go hard, or go home. Touchdown like the end zone. When the circle turn to my home, can't get me out of my zone. Go hard, or go home, go hard, or go home. Yeah, these championship rings on my hands now. In my head I'm top 10, yeah, that's hands down. You a squad, now you're looking man down. Funny how foes turn to friends now. Drive a race car like a Atari now. Call filling up, I need product again. Treat the business like a playground, might slide on you. Do me wrong, might slide on you. Do a backflip, cause I'm mad rich. I'm the definition of what that is. Go hard, or go home, go home, go hard, go hard, or go home, go hard, go hard, or go home, go home, go hard, go hard, or go home. Touchdown like the end zone. When the circle turn to my home, can't get me out of my zone. Go hard, or go home, go hard, or go home. I'm a warrior, I go back to back, then go back to back. If I top the top, then a double back, and I'm topping that. Yeah, I beat my own records. Yeah, I gotta get money fetish. Same team, I don't set trip. Never dull, this electric. Went and put the Ricks on my toes. Me and bro, that's the give and go. Stay 100, end zone, end zone. Keep them coming, I know. I won't flood my wrist, no, I'm not dumb like that. No. I just wanna give my mama 100 racks. Go hard, or go home. 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 Touchdown like the end zone. When the circle turn to my home, can't get me out of my zone. Go hard, or go home. Go hard.
What up? Time to go home. The bottom line is here. Missing my main man, Cancun. But he'll be here in a little bit. I got a special guest today. Episode of 55 of the bottom line. But here we go. We're partnering with Dan Harris and Let's Talk Sports. Also, Sideline Sports Network. Exciting partnership with them. Streaming all these channels. Pretty cool. Appreciate Dan Harris. All his hard work. And so here we go. Let's go. Oh, that's not what I want. All right, so here we go. Missing my partner, like I said, but let's do this today. I'm going to go ahead and bring in my guest, Alan PERALEZ. He's one of my guests. Omar is my other guest. You've seen him before. Actually, let me bring in Omar real quick if he's ready. Are you ready, Omar? Give me a thumbs up. You good? All right, let's bring in Omar. He's been on the show before. He's from I always get this wrong. Let me get this right. Ball and Bud. Yeah. All right. Welcome, Omar Fonseca.
Yo.
Hey, what's up? What's up, Omar? How you been?
Oh man, I'm good, my brother. Blessed to be alive here repping the Ball and Buds podcast. You know what it is. Happy to be with you, my friend. Thank you for inviting me again.
Yeah, it's good to have you again. Good to have you, man. We had a pretty good show with Jake, didn't we?
Oh, man. I can't wait. I hope he comes
I hope he
today.
shows up. Let's see if he shows up. I don't think he's going to show up.
I don't think he is. He don't want to get flamed today. He don't want to get flamed today.
He don't want none of this. He don't want none of this smoke.
But I look forward to being a regular contributor on the bottom line, my friend.
Who, you?
Yes, me.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, appreciate you. Yeah, appreciate
you.
We enjoy when you're here. Yeah. Hopefully, Canteen shows up. He was in like a leadership something or other with the military, and so he was running a little late. His bus was running late, and all.
Hey, well, you know what? Leadership is a good thing that we need people to build their skills on. So as long as he's helping that grow, I'm happy for him. I'm proud of him.
Yeah, no, it was good. It's just he left his car and then he had to come back.
And you said y'all are veterans, right? If I may.
Yeah, we're both still in active duty, actually.
Ah, okay. So I'm the veteran. Okay, all right.
Yeah, you're the veteran. Well, we're all veterans technically, but
technically, y'all are still in. I've been out for 15 years now. So.
Oh yeah, you've been out for a minute. Yeah. You've been out as long as some people have been retired.
Yeah, I would have done. I should have done the full 20. Let me say.
Right. Yeah.
I should have retired, but.
Oh, you got medically retired.
No. I said I should have.
Oh, you should have.
No, I got out after 6.
Oh, after 6. Okay, 6 and done, huh? Okay.
Air Force, baby.
Air Force. Oh, the chair force. That don't count as the military, does it?
Hey, you know what? My grandfather was Army. My dad was Army. My mom works for the Army. Oh, so naturally, I said I must be the smart one and go to the Air Force.
You know, I don't blame you because my kids wanted to go and they said, "Man, go to the Air Force." That's what I thought. So we'll see. Yeah.
Only the smartest choice.
That was a good move. That was a good move by you. I mean, hey, you know, they used to, when we were deployed, they used to have some Air Force there, and they used to pay them extra to come be deployed with us.
Hey,
can you believe that?
Not only extra, but the amenities were better.
Right.
The food was better. Like, just everything. The medical was better. Like, just everything was better.
Okay, now that's enough. All right. No, we used to tell them it was substandard living pay. They didn't call it that. They call it something else, but we just call it substandard living pay. That's what they got.
That's an understatement. But at least Air Force intel is not a oxymoron like Army intel.
Shots fired.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, thanks for coming back, man. I appreciate you coming back to the show. Now let's get to our guest, Alan PERALEZ. I hope I said it right. So Adam PERALEZ, he's part of the Let's Talk Sports Network. I don't know how long he's been with that. He'll talk a little bit about that, but he's been with them for a little bit longer than I have, that's for sure. But we appreciate him coming on the show. I think Dan set it up. So let's bring in our special guest, Alan PERALEZ. What up?
All y'all talking about military, I feel like the normie here.
Are you not in the military or don't know anything about it?
No, I'm not. But I do want to say thank you both for your service.
Hey, problem.
You guys are awesome. So
yeah, no, for sure.
I appreciate you and good to meet you, man. I know I was zoned out there for a second. I was trying to get the YouTube connected so we could go live on there. So
right, yeah. Yeah, we're trying to get all connected, like 5. Well, I guess would be with my 6 and then yours, and maybe I don't know if Alan's on his, but be about 7 or 8 places.
Yeah, I just do on Let's Talk Sports, so we're pretty much on mine. So
okay, yeah, you're like one of the originals, right?
Not necessarily. I've only been here for I want to say almost a year at this point.
Yeah. Okay.
So it'll be about a year, I think, next month.
Oh, wow.
I think is when it is. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be a year next month. So.
Wow. Well, yeah. Congratulations. Let us know. I mean, what got you started with Let's Talk Sports and Dan Harris? Kind of give us a little backstory on that.
So I'm part of a Facebook group here locally here because I live in Oklahoma. So we have our own like little sports group like locally with a bunch of guys that either graduated with or they're all interconnected with. So it's about like a group of 300 people. And then I don't know if you've seen him, but Keith Engel, TGI Sports Talk, he posts his show on different groups and, you know, to kind of get his name out there. And, you know, obviously, you know, I've seen his show a couple times, started watching that, you know, kind of became a follower of that. And then, you know, through him, I found, you know, Let's Talk Sports because he has his shows with Dan on Fridays and whatnot. So, and then it's like I think it was at some point last year I filled in on one of Keith's shows and Dan watched it and he's like, "Hey, would you like to, you know, come on and do this?" And you know, Dan made it all possible. So shout out to Dan Harris for
shout out to Dan.
Taking a normal kid.
Shout out to Dan Harris. Appreciate everything.
Taking a normal kid who's just a fan and now he's doing this. So, and I've been a big part of the community ever since. So, I mean, so much so he donated a laptop to me just so I could have
you were telling me about that. You used to do it off. See, when I first started, I was doing it off my phone too. And I had a little thing that held my phone,
which is cool because that draft show we did together, that was the first. I believe that was the first show where I had my laptop. Actually.
Oh wow, cool. Well, good deal. Well, I'm glad you had your laptop now, right?
It's a lot easier. I don't have to use my hands
anymore.
What
to do with your hands. You were like what was it, Talladega Nights? You didn't know what to do with your hands. You're like.
Yeah, I had to fire my cameraman. Unfortunately, he wasn't doing a good job. But
oh no,
he'll pop up every so often. But you know, he only gets severance checks at this point.
Oh, all right. So so you're a Cowboy fan too, right?
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, an Oklahoma Sooners fan.
Hey, I know.
Hey, you're halfway good. You know,
hey, it's better than, you know, that crappy burnt orange down there in Austin. So.
Yeah, I'll agree with you there. Yeah, I don't mind.
But as a Texas Tech fan, sir, can you really talk? Because y'all haven't been good in forever.
We've been good. We've been better than Texas.
I was gonna say y'all's rivalry is more with either Baylor or Oklahoma State at this point.
Wow.
Hey, well, at least I can say this much. I can say this much. We have the best quarterback in the NFL. Texas Tech. Yeah,
Texas Tech.
Mahomes is the Texas Tech.
That's right. He was at Tech. That's right.
Texas Tech alumni.
Which is funny because he still got outplayed by Baker Mayfield.
It's funny because Texas Tech still didn't win any games. So.
Well, they didn't.
That was more on that was more on Kingsbury really than it was on Patrick.
That was a little bit on him. Plus, he admittedly he said he wasn't big into recruiting. Which, if you're a head coach in college, you have to be big into recruiting. He just wanted to run the offense and be a head coach. He didn't care about recruiting. So
because really he wanted Kyler Murray.
Huh?
Really, he wanted Kyler Murray, but Murray ended up going from A&M to Oklahoma. So.
Yeah, he did want Kyler Murray, but that was after Mahomes.
That was after Mahomes, I believe.
All right, so here we go, man. Let's get into it. Hopefully, Canteen gets here. It's good to have you here. Let's talk a little baseball.
I mean, Canteen don't want to talk no baseball anyway, so let's just talk some baseball.
Yeah, you don't want to talk baseball. Yeah. So let's talk a little baseball. Following the.
Am I surrounded by two Rangers fans right now?
Oh, yes. All right. Have y'all been watching the college baseball at all?
I mean, obviously, you know, the Women's College World Series, you know.
What about the men?
The men's, I haven't gotten into the men's as much. You know, both our state teams are out. Well, Oral Roberts is still in. They're technically an Oklahoma school, but yeah, Women's College World Series definitely because of, you know, all that stuff. But yeah, I've been kind of peeking back and forth at the actual College World Series, and it's been pretty entertaining from what I've seen. So
now I don't have the wins losses so far. I think a couple of teams have lost already on here. I think it's double elimination, right?
Yeah, double elimination. Yep. So
who do you see coming out of here on the left hand side here? out of this regional over on this side?
LSU for sure. LSU for sure. They've been a really, really solid team all year. I know they're a 5 seed, but many people think that they're the best team in the tournament. So.
Oh wow. Okay.
And then Wake Forest
again too. Who do you think? Texas or Stanford? Or?
Wake Forest probably. I would say Wake Forest.
Okay, LSU and Wake Forest over here. What about you, Omar? What do you think? Who's coming out of this?
Yeah, I agree with Alan on LSU.
Okay,
they've been dominant so far. They beat the heck out of Kentucky, 14-0. Whooped them last time. Wake Forest would be the first number 1 seed to make it since 2018. So they've actually been doing pretty well also. So I will go with Alan on that as well.
Okay, good. Who's your team, Omar, in college? You got a college team?
UCLA.
I don't see them on here anywhere.
They are not, and they would have been the ones to defeat the Sooners in the women had that happened, but we got eliminated early. So, Alan, you're welcome.
You're welcome.
I mean, 61-1 says otherwise.
No, y'all are amazing, dude. Shout out to the Oklahoma women because that is
I mean they have been
stuff right there.
I looked it up this morning. 175-8 in the last 3 seasons.
That's crazy, man.
Crazy. That is crazy.
It's a whole nother level. They just go at a whole nother level.
And it's like they play such good fundamentals, like defense and offensive wise, that like they don't let teams score points. And then they score just enough that they got the pitching to hold them down the whole game. So it's like
either that, they just run roll everybody to death.
Either that, either one of the two. Yeah. Well, what about the right side? What you got?
What about the right side, Alan? What do you think over here?
My bad, Flo. I didn't mean to take over your show there.
Oh, you're good. Help me push it along. But we beat Florida once, but then they beat us twice. We lost twice. But we would have been up here where Florida's at, but we couldn't beat Florida.
At this point, I would probably say Florida and TCU.
Okay.
I think TCU's been playing very well lately. I think they had a solid win yesterday. So, I think that they could. I think if they win either today or tomorrow, they'll be moving on. So I'll have to say TCU, which I would like to see them play Oral Roberts in that next round, but it seems like I think Oral Roberts and Oregon are tied 1-1, so that's a winner go home game tomorrow. For them.
Okay. You look like you were shaking your head, Omar, like you agree.
I agree with TCU. I do not agree with Florida. I think that Virginia is on a hot streak, and that is not just me being a Jake Montoya homer since I'm from Virginia. They've been beating the hell out of Duke. It's not been a good series. They're advancing, and I would say them and TCU.
Really? Okay. Cool.
And then probably, I know you're going to ask me anyways.
Right.
So give it to you. I would say Virginia LSU title game is what I would say.
Oh, Virginia LSU so you really like Virginia in this one. Go all the. What about you, Alan? Who do you see pushing all the way? You said LSU looked like on one side.
Yeah, I would say LSU on the left. I'm kind of torn, but I'll agree and I'll say Virginia.
Oh wow! Okay, got a consensus. All right. Yeah.
I like how he came to my side. I didn't even need to bend his arm.
Right? You didn't have to bend his arm or anything.
I'm sorry. I'm still a little sour at TCU for football season, so I can't.
You're still a little sour at him?
Still a little sour. Still, it's just a little. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so that's it for the college. We just want to touch base on that a little bit. Let us know what you guys think. Who's going to be in the championship game or the World Series, College World Series? Consensus here is LSU and Virginia. I think maybe Florida might squeak it out. I don't know, because they beat my Red Raiders, and
I can see it.
I want them to be that good. We lost to the champs. We lost to somebody who went to But anyway, we'll see what happens. Let us know what you guys think in the comments and all that good stuff. So appreciate you. So let's see. Okay. All right. So since you guys are both of you guys are more baseball aficionados than I am. We're getting pretty close to halfway season. I guess halfway through the season. My Texas Rangers are doing pretty good. I mean, I don't know. I was surprised. And you're a Mets fan, right, Omar?
Yes, sir.
How are you doing?
They suck.
Are they doing Met stuff?
As always.
The Mets
as
are
always,
the Mets are going to Met.
The Mets are going to Met as usual, and here we are.
Here we are. So tell me this. What do you, I can hear from me. One of y'all go first, but are the Texas Rangers, are they for real, or are they just kind of playing over their skis, or what do you think?
I'm going to let Alan go because he's a Rangers fan, but I just want to first say I do not hate Jacob deGrom, and I feel super bad that he got injured. It's a horrible situation for a excellent pitcher.
Okay.
And the thing with that is they really haven't needed Jacob deGrom. If you've seen them play the last month or so, I mean, Jacob deGrom went down April 28th. They haven't missed a beat since. They've been, I believe, 26-10 since Jacob deGrom went down.
Okay.
And they just got out of a 3-game series with Tampa. Didn't win the series, but at least took a game, which is what I was expecting them to do. Because Tampa is just that good. Tampa just, came out of the gates fire, and they're a really, really tough team to beat, especially at Tropicana Field. That team is going to be really, really tough to beat come postseason time. But, Texas has showed a lot of great strides. They've made, compared to where they were last year, they're about at the same win total as what they were last year. This is the best. This is the best start. I don't know if you know this, Flo.
Are you try not to get too excited, or are you pretty excited? I mean,
we'll see. I don't know if you know this, Flo, but this is the best start, 60+ game start in team history.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
This is the best start the Rangers, even better than the World Series team. So
really, wow.
I mean, Bruce Bochy has come in. He's given them a complete 180. Wow. And we talk about it on our baseball show all the time on Tuesdays, is that really the Rangers just needed somebody to come in and give them a swift kick in the ass, and that's what Bruce Bochy has done. I mean, you can't do that. You can't do that with Chris Woodward. I'm sorry, he's not that guy. But Bochy's come in. He's won 3 World Series titles with the Giants. He's bringing Mike Maddox back in was huge. Having Greg Maddox be a consultant during spring training was huge for this team. And you see guys are starting to get a lot better. One guy who's definitely improved has been Adolis Garcia. He's gotten more disciplined at the plate. He's making better choices. He's not swinging and missing as much. It's starting to help and it's starting to carry over. He's leading the team in home runs. He's leading the team in RBIs. And then, of course, Josh Young is just having a great rookie season. Nobody expected him to be this good right out of the gate. So, and then Marcus Semion's an MVP. I feel Marcus Semien's probably, one of the top 3 or 4 front runners for MVP here.
Really?
If not for a guy named Shohei Ohtani, but it's just been that kind of year. And of course, Corey missed a month, and he still hasn't missed a beat. So
right.
I mean,
so you're excited. I mean, you're like, this could be the year.
Yeah. I mean, 41 and 22, second best team in baseball right now, record wise.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I mean,
you got nothing but
real. Is it real? Or
I was going to say, how can you not be excited about that?
Well, I'm just saying. I mean,
they're basically a year ahead of schedule at this point. So a year or 2 ahead of schedule. So it's great.
What do you think, Omar?
Yeah, no, I think the Rangers are for real. As you mentioned, like they just got all the pieces in place, even with DeGrom out. You got Corey Seager in there. Just went 5 for 5 last night, and they beat the Rays, who are the best team in the league record-wise. So the thing is with the Texas Rangers, though, we've seen this before. We've seen when they get a very hot record to start the season and then flail out. Now, I think this team is different. I think they're built different, and I think it comes down to exactly what Alan was saying. Bruce Bochy. You bring in somebody who was an educated manager from San Francisco that has won championships and done all of these great things within the game and has just the baseball IQ that you want. That's somebody that you bring in. It's like what the Mets did with Buck Showalter. Now, granted, last season was better than this, but still, it's that steady hand. It's that smart baseball IQ that can keep a young team, such as the Rangers, who have a lot of young players, can keep them on track to getting. They're a playoff team for sure. Can they win the championship? Sure. Oh, yeah. I think, like Alan said, though, they're a little early ahead of schedule.
All right, cool. So, do you think that the Astros are going to make a push to for that first place spot, or you think they're just going to stay kind of keeping that bay?
It's going to be back and forth. It's going to be back and forth the entirety of the year. You're going to see the Astros get hot. You're going to see the Rangers get hot. They're going to be going back and forth even through the All-Star break. It's just going to keep going back and forth. And then it's ultimately just going to come down to these two teams. I think the A's are going to fade out. Well, the A's have already faded out. They faded out back in April.
Gentlemen, this may be the worst team ever. The A's, they are horrible.
Wow.
They're what, 12-52 now or something like that?
I think they're 15. They've won a string of games here lately. They've actually won back to back. So I think they're like 14, 15 wins right now, but still it's not good. We talked about LSU earlier. This LSU team is probably better than Oakland right now. So
Facts.
Hey, so both of you guys give me a team that right now is kind of on the outside looking in as far as the playoffs. It's still midway, but I mean a team that doesn't look too good right now, but could make a push to get into the postseason.
I'm gonna say Miami Marlins. Really? They've been playing very good baseball here lately, and they're second place. They're second place in the East. They're playing really solid right now. The pitching could use some pick me up, and Sandy Alcantara hasn't been the best this year. If he's able to go back to what he was last year, the Marlins are going to be tough to deal with. Come down the stretch. I guess you could go Arizona as well, but Arizona I think is still leading the NL West. So that's another surprise team.
Miami is 16-16 on the road, so they have a pretty decent road record right now. I mean, they're 500. What about you, Omar? You got a team that's kind of, you're hoping you're Mets, right? But I mean, a team that really can make a push. What do you think?
Wild pick though with the Marlins, considering I hope the Marlins are cursed forever for everything they've done to their own franchise. I
would say, isn't this what Miami does though? They play mediocre for 5 years, and then they get that one season where they just get into the playoffs and go all the way.
And then they break it all down again, and it's like
right. Maybe that's what the Mets need to do so they can get one.
You know what? I don't got time for this, Flo. You want me to lead a show right now, Flo? Is that what you want? You want me to lead? Nah, Mets aren't doing anything this year, man. Mets
just
are
saying,
done.
maybe that's a formula. At least you'll get a championship every 4 or 5 years.
Hey, you would hope so. Yeah. The Marlins did it. I got in the NL. I got the Giants actually. So I think the Giants are being slept on, and I think that once they get some experience under some of them young guys, they're going to boost up. The Padres are there, but the problem is that Soto still is not hitting as he should, and Tatis is back, but not in former self. So I'm going to go with the Giants. In the AL, though, the Angels is who I'm going with. I am going with as Alan mentioned, a Shohei and Mike Trout finally making the playoffs and making some moves within the playoffs. But don't sleep in that division on the Mariners.
Wow. Okay. I like it. Any final thoughts on baseball?
I'll give you 2 teams right now that are actually under 500 to keep an eye on. The Reds. The Reds are one, and then the other is Cleveland.
Hey, how do you like that?
Cleveland's starting to catch fire a little bit.
Wow.
Alan, how do you like that kid, Ellie De La Cruz, man?
Oh my God. Like, you want to talk about a debut, that whole series. And against the Dodgers too, which makes it even better for that town.
So I think no, I didn't ask you guys. What do y'all think about the new time clock? Just give me a quick. What do you think about this whole call?
I mean, it's been kind of hit and miss at times, but I think it's been okay. It's okay. You're getting faster paced games. Because
I know Omar. Mike loves it.
No. Mike loves it.
Mike loves it. You don't like it? Oh, wow.
I hate it, and this is my reasoning. Step back a second. I have the MLB package.
Okay.
And you may not be Mets fans, but Gary Cohen, Keith Hernandez, and Ron Darling are the best booth in the league by far. And I would sit there every day and just put on Mets games and just listen to them talk for 3.5 hours while I'm working or doing whatever and super enjoying myself. And now they've taken an hour away from me to hear the beautiful voices of GKR.
Oh, wow. That's the reason? Come on.
That's the sole reason. Other than that, it's good. Other than that, it cuts down time of games.
Here's your reason.
And wait a second. I like drinking at the ballpark. I like having a couple brews at the ballpark. Why can't I stay longer?
I was going to say, I'm surprised they have quality broadcast teams when you're paying Bobby Bonilla every year.
Really? You had to bring that up?
Wow.
Shot to the heart, huh? Yeah. We pay him $5.8 million every year for the next where are we at? 2020. 10 more years. Way to go, guys. Dumbasses.
More years.
Shot to the heart, and you're too late.
Sing it loud, sing it proud. Yeah. All right, so let us know what you think about the baseball. Give us some comments. Let us know what you guys think. We're going to move on to some NFL topics.
Let me ask you this, Omar. What do you think? Like every year, Bobby Bonilla Day, just have Bobby Bonilla come out and throw the first pitch every Bobby Bonilla Day.
I mean, you're paying him so much money. Have him do something. Please.
Like literally, just make a celebration out of it. Have him come out, give him his check, and have him throw out the first pitch every Bobby Bonilla Day.
And
hand him a check at the end. Here's your check.
Yeah. You give him like one of those big like paper checks that they hand on game shows. Like, here you go.
Right.
It's like, here's your yearly earnings, sir.
Right. Here you go.
And the funny
Thanks
part
for
is
coming out and throwing the first pitch.
The funny part is that Steve Cohen, he makes jokes of it just like you do, Alan. He's like, another Bobby Bonilla Day. I guess you can do that when you have $316 billion in the bank or whatever the fuck he has.
Yeah, let me just take this $100 bill and just send it to Bobby Bonilla's house. That's pretty much what he's saying.
I don't know. Maybe you can send that up and make through the channels, and maybe they'll do that. All right. So let's look at the NFL real quick. A few topics. We have Jake, the Bronco lover.
Oh, is he here?
No, he's not here. Oh. But he loves him some Broncos. That's his theme music. He loves Broncos. But yeah, I mean, last year he was like Super Bowl goals and all this stuff. He's talking about Super Bowl. That was last year.
I was gonna say it's hard to love mediocrity.
It's hard to love crap is what it's hard to love.
But I remember watching that Sunday night game against the 49ers. I don't know how anybody could have watched that game and not just been like, "Oh my god, this is dreadful."
Yeah, it was horrible. And then they kept putting them on primetime. I didn't understand. I was like, why are we
being subjugated to the Broncos?
Exactly. Like but it wasn't. It was like more. It was like 5 games or something. It was some crazy amount of. I was like, why can't they? I think that's why they brought in the flex this year for Thursday night games because of the Broncos. It was terrible.
So we have the Walmart owners to thank for that. Congrats, guys.
Exactly. I do agree though, Flo, with Jake. I do think the Broncos are going to be better this year.
Well, they'll be better.
Yeah,
I mean, but
they'll be better. You can only get better from what you were last year. So
right, but he said something like 14 wins, some crazy, outrageous thing.
That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
Was going to win the MVP. I mean, he's way out there. But anyway, so speaking of the Broncos, talk a little bit about them. Speaking of Russell Wilson, also, I wanted to kind of touch on that. But there's a lot of people out there talking about that Russell Wilson is washed. I don't personally think so, and it looks like you guys, maybe at least one of you don't think so. How much credit does he deserve for what happened last year? A lot of people blame the coach. Some people blame Russell. Is it a 50-50 thing, or what do you think, Alan?
I think it's more of a 50-50 thing, but okay. I would put it more on Nathaniel Hackett because you just wouldn't let Russell Wilson be Russell Wilson. And if you just let him be Russell Wilson, and you saw the times when he was allowed to kind of be loose and free like he was in Seattle, that's when he started making plays. That's when, people are like, where's this Denver offense been all year? So, I mean,
right?
And it's usually always against Kansas City. It's always Kansas City
I know,
or
so
Vegas.
tough.
It's always a division game that they do this in. So it's like, but you just got to let Russell Wilson be Russell Wilson. And then,
so you get 50-50.
It more so Hackett. I'll say 60-40 on Hackett.
Okay, 60-40. Okay, that's fair. What do you think, Omar?
75-80 Hackett. I mean, Hackett is a horrible coach.
He was terrible.
Classic case of a coach who came in and tried to install a program that he thought worked 40 years ago and doesn't work anymore. And he learned very quickly that was the case. As Alan so astutely pointed out, if you don't let Russell run play action and run the things that make him good, then what are you wasting $250 million for?
Yeah.
See, I'm a believer that Russell Wilson was their second option, that they really wanted to go get Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
but because Rodgers stayed in Green Bay, that fell by the wayside because they signed Nathaniel Hackett. They got some guys.
Nathaniel Hackett go to the Jets, and that's where Aaron ended up.
Exactly.
Well, no, Nathaniel Hackett was the offensive coordinator, wasn't he, for the Packers?
Hackett was the OC for the Packers. Now he's the OC for the Jets, which is where Aaron Rodgers is now. He's in the Jet. He's at the Jets.
There's a connection there, maybe.
What are we missing, people?
There's a connection there.
It's a mesh of styles that didn't work. So,
right? I don't know. And something weird is happening there. Huh?
But Flo, I compare it to the first year of Mike McCarthy here in Dallas.
Oh yeah.
I know the defense was terrible. The first year he was here, because of course Dan Quinn wasn't here in 2020. Right. Just a god awful year in general. Nobody likes to remember that year at all. Dak going down. We went through 4 different quarterbacks, 4 different offensive line shifts, and stuff like that all throughout the season. It's just nothing worked out for Mike McCarthy that year. And then you bring in some guys, Dan Quinn kind of righted the ship in defense, and it just started getting better and better as the year.
And I'm glad Dan Quinn stayed, getting on the Cowboys a little bit, but I think he's so much better coordinator than he is a head coach. I think he's like Josh McDaniels is for the Raiders. He's just a way better coordinator than he is the actual head coach.
There's just some people that are meant for coordinating, some people that are meant for coaching.
Exactly, yeah. And Quinn, he made the right choice to stay and not try and get a whole head coach.
Because when you're a coordinator, you only have to focus on one certain area, whereas as a head coach, you have to focus on the entire team.
Right, so, and then you've got all this other stuff you got to do, media stuff and all this other things.
Most guys aren't that good multitaskers. So.
Exactly.
Or, most guys don't have emotion. Just see Bill Belichick here.
On to Cincinnati, right?
On to Cincinnati.
That's his answer to half the question.
Same facial expression for every emotion.
That's how you win games, though, is you care about next game.
Yeah. I'm kind of like Omar. I'm going to say about 80-20. I mean, 75-25. Because the only reason I put blame on Russell Wilson is I think he thinks he's a better pocket passer than he is. I think
he really does. He really thinks
he's a better, but he's not. He just needs to lean into it. He reminds me a little of Dak right now, because Dak thinks he's a better pocket passer than he is. He needs to get around and move around a little bit.
Well, the thing is, Dak has no choice but to be a pocket passer because of his injury. He can't run as much.
But he I mean, the first year after his injury, I could see, but last year he moved around pretty good. I think he can still.
I think with this offense, with McCarthy's going to install, I think you might see Dak move around a little bit more than what he has.
Yeah, let's talk about the Cowboys in a minute. We're definitely got 2 Cowboy fans, so got to talk Cowboys at some point. So give me the Broncos are 8.5 for the season, over under. You taking the over or the under? What are you thinking, Omar? The
under. I am taking the under. There's no way. No way they win 8.
So you don't think Sean Payton does that?
There's no way. I like Sean Payton as a coach, but there's literally no way. Russell Wilson's good. Sean Payton is good. Where is the rest of anything coming from? Their offense and defense are both mediocre at best.
I mean, they've got some good wideouts. They got some good running backs.
Who? Javonte Williams, you're telling me is good now?
Well, did Jarvis leave?
Who?
Oh, never mind. That's somebody else.
And did Gordon leave? Yeah, and he wasn't good either.
Gordon did leave.
What about wide receivers? What are we talking about?
Yeah. I mean,
come on now.
They didn't get any weapons, did they? I guess they didn't really. Yeah. Okay. Maybe you're convincing me.
I would say I like their defense better than most people. I think their defense is a little bit underrated, but I agree with Omar. I think their offense is just missing some pieces. Preferably on the offensive line. I think that's where they struggle at the most. So I mean, they have decent receivers. I like their receiving core a lot, but offensive line struggles a bit. Russell Wilson did get hit a lot last year.
He got sacked 55 times last year.
Mm-hmm. He got hit a lot. And you got to look at the conference that they're in. The AFC is just stacked.
The West is horrible, dude. It's like a gauntlet.
Stacked.
Even my crappy Raiders are good enough to put up a challenge.
I'll kind of drop a bomb here. I think you're only going to get one team out of the West, and it's Kansas City.
Wow. No Chargers?
No Chargers. Because I think the Browns are going to be better. I think the Steelers are going to be better. I think the Bills will be a little bit, I think the Bills will still taper off. I think the Bills will still fall off a little bit, but I still think that they're going to be better enough to maybe fight their way in. And then, of course, the Jets, the Dolphins.
Only the Chiefs? Really?
Yeah. And then, of course, you got your division winners, but the AFC East is a better division. The AFC North is going to be a gauntlet because you got now Lamar Jackson back healthy at Baltimore. Right. Who knows what that team's going to do? You still got Joe Burrow in Cincinnati. The North is probably the best division right now on paper. The AFC North.
Huh. Well, I mean, you're probably right. The AFC North.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and that's only
I still see the Chargers taking at least a wild card. They're
going to fight for it. They're going to fight for it. Them, Buffalo,
and Pittsburgh,
Pittsburgh are all going to fight for that last wild card spot.
You think Miami, the Dolphins, and the Jets?
The Dolphins could be there.
Jets will be in that wild card hunt as well. I think the Dolphins win the division.
You don't think the AFC East is the strongest?
Hey, hot take, gentlemen. Hot take, gentlemen. Aaron Rodgers and the Jets go 4-12.
What?
I'm serious.
Are you serious?
I was gonna say, Dan, Jets fan, right? He's
gonna cancel me. I'm done. Hey, if I never see y'all again, thank y'all. It was fun.
Who's that guy? Nick? Is it Botkin? What was his name? He said that Aaron's gonna be MVP this year, and I said no way.
Come on now.
I said no way, but
There's no way. Who's he throwing to? Garrett Wilson and who else? That's it. You got Garrett Wilson. And what? You got a second-year back that you hopefully is going to stay healthy? Like, what else do you have? Your offensive line is not good. The defense is great, but what does that do for Aaron Rodgers other than give him more time on the field?
I feel they should be going after Dalvin Cook. I'm like, why aren't you going after Dalvin Cook?
That would be a good pickup.
I was going to say go get
all in with Aaron.
I was going to say go get D-Hop, but that's just me.
That too. Get both of them.
That would be a good pickup too.
I would say get both of them. If you're the Jets, you got Aaron 2 years max.
You got to go all in now.
Go all in right now.
You got to go all in now.
Exactly, right now. That's what I'm saying.
Like, what are you saving your money for? You're in New York.
I have the AFC North as the best division only because, we have Washington in ours, and I don't even know what they're going to be called now because they're losing the Commanders moniker, and it's like a whole giant, clusterfuck down there. I just call them name redacted because it's hilarious.
Their name redacted.
The name redacted.
I mean, a lot of people just keep watching the football team.
I mean, just go with that Washington football team. It works.
That's
gives you that soccer vibe.
Yeah, exactly. Oh well. All right. So speaking of Dalvin Cook, they tried to trade him. Do you think is it a good move or bad move for the Vikings, Alan? You think they should try and held on to him? Are they going to try?
Well, they probably wouldn't have been able to. They probably wouldn't have been able to because of that cap hit. That cap hit was going to hurt him. And
you don't think he'd be willing to take less, stay with Minnesota?
I don't think he was going to take less. I think he wanted to either restructure his contract and probably get more down the line or go somewhere else. So this is a move that Minnesota felt that they had to do. I think they're comfortable with Alexander Madison. He's shown flashes at times, but Dalvin really wants to go to Miami, because hometown and whatnot. And then I've heard Dark Horse talks about him maybe going to Dallas as well. That would be something, but
wow.
I think Miami's definitely the favorite because it's an area he's familiar with, and you put Dalvin Cook on the Miami Dolphins with that offense,
and he did post
who are you gonna stop?
Cryptic photo, didn't he, on Instagram or something?
Yeah,
it was Miami.
It was when they were. I think they played in Miami last year, and that was from that.
So you think Miami's the best spot for him right now?
I think that's the favorite. If I'm a betting man, that's the favorite is Miami because of hometown, and they could use, if they get a running back like him, that basically completes their offense.
Right. What about you, Omar? Where do you think he's going?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Alan. He's from Opelika. He went to Miami Central High School, so he's a Miami. Yeah, he's a Miami native. Like, he wants to go there. It's a money move, dude. The thing with the NFL now is that running backs equal trash nowadays. Like, if you're a running back, they're going to get those first 4 good years out of you, and then they're going to dispose of you like yesterday's news. As McDaniels tried to do with Josh Jacobs, who then went on to win the rushing title, and now is going to cost $12 million a year. Well, so was Dalvin Cook, but you know what? Dalvin Cook was a leader in the locker room. Dalvin Cook was so much more than just a running back. And the fact that they would be willing to pay Adrian Peterson almost $13 million after his suspension to bring him back, and not willing to pay Dalvin Cook the $9 million extra he needs, seems kind of auspicious. Now, that being said, he's always had an injury history, right? We know that. Right. He had shoulder surgery earlier in February, so it only made sense, as Alan said, they got Alexander Madison, who is a younger back, and will give them, a little more speed, a little more production off the edge. I still think they should have kept Dalvin Cook, but I understand the economics of the game.
Okay. So he wants to get paid, I would think. I mean, he's like 28 years old, so you think he wants to get a decent paycheck. This is probably his last chance at any kind of money.
I mean, if he was able to sign like maybe a 1-year deal with like Miami or something like that, and then cash in next year, if he had a good year, maybe. But yeah, you're right. If he can't do that, then you're right.
28 years old, man. They're, like you said, people wash their hands on him. I would think he'd want to get maybe a 3-year deal at least.
I mean, kind of case in point to Flo's argument here is that Kareem Hunt and Ezekiel Elliott are both still free agents. So neither two guys are on teams. Which Kareem Hunt, I'm surprised.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
He's been having
he's been kind of
last couple of years with Cleveland.
Has he been kind of like I don't know, I'm saying attitude, but he's had kind of character stuff, hasn't he? It seems like people he can't get along with his coaches.
I mean, kind of, sort of.
How many NFL players don't have character?
I mean, he's not wrong. He's not wrong. Yeah, those two in particular. I mean, Zeke, it's obvious. His tank's kind of getting out there, but Kareem Hunt as well. It's just like I'm surprised neither of these guys have been signed yet.
I said this earlier today. I think Jerry's gonna go and re-sign Zeke. I just feel like he drafts these players and he feels like it's like they're his kids, and so he ends up. I don't know. He just feels like they're his kids, and that's just a weird thing that Jerry does.
Jason Garrett has been part of the organization for so long.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So I feel like Zeke's gonna end up with the Cowboys somehow, but who knows?
He's definitely going back to Cowboys. Jerry Jones loves him too much.
I think out of a courtesy, they let him go. Hey, go ahead, Zeke. Go try and see what you can do out there in the market. But they kind of felt like, you know what, he'll be back.
But honestly, you need that compliment, though. Like, you need that compliment with Tony Pollard. Like, Ezekiel Elliott is the bread to the, the peanut butter to the jelly for Tony Pollard.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, especially down in near the goal line. I mean, or you need that short yardage guy who's gonna get you 2 or 3 yards. I mean, he's always good to get you 2 or 3 or 4 yards. If you really need.
And he can block. Let's be really honest. He can block.
He's a good pass blocker too. Yeah. Mm-hmm. A lot better than Pollard is. Pollard is terrible. He needs to work. Hope he worked on that in the offseason.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Yeah.
You better hope so.
You don't want to get outshined by 5'5" Deuce Vaughn.
Yeah, 5'5".
You better watch out for Deuce Vaughn. He's going to be your next running back.
We might. I don't know. We'll talk about that.
I think so too.
Oh, okay.
Remember, I was going to say, Flo and I were screaming throughout that entire draft show. Was like, get a running back, get a running back, get a running back.
They should have got Bijan Robinson, but
and then like an hour in, they took Deuce Vaughn and were like, thank God, finally.
A running back. I mean, come on, get a running back. I was like screaming for Zach Evans because I couldn't believe he was still on the board. But hey, we'll talk about that in just a second. But wrapping up kind of the free agencies. Carson Wentz is still out there. And the Raiders, their QB,
whoa, don't do that.
Their QB
don't do
is
that.
hurt right now.
Don't do that. What are you talking about right now? Don't do that to me. What are you talking about?
I mean, if Jimmy G doesn't pass the physical, who are you going to call?
Look, listen to me very, very, very carefully.
Are you going to bring Tom Brady in out of retirement?
I know you're not going to bring Tom Brady. I thought you were going to leave if Tom Brady came.
I will. But Carson Wentz may be one of the worst quarterbacks of all time.
I think he's got a shot to give him a chance.
To do what, my friend? Speaking to my good ear.
To maybe, help y'all out.
Yeah, okay. All right. My friend, let's look back on last season when the Washington I wish they were the football team, being from DC, because the Commanders is such a stupid name anyways. But let's look back. They started 2-4. He had about a 60% passing percentage, had thrown 10 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. He was a middling quarterback that got them nowhere, to the point that they are now about to start Sam Howell. Who the hell is Sam Howell?
I mean, he wasn't bad with the Colts. He played okay.
Sure. Say that again to yourself. Say that again to yourself and think about that correctly.
He wasn't that bad with the Colts.
And what did the Colts do with him?
Wasn't that bad, but did throw
he had
27 he couldn't win with Jonathan Taylor being the best running back in the league.
So do we need to go back to Week 18, that Week 18 game against Jacksonville?
What do you think, like 50 yards or something like that?
Where the fans were just basically clowning the owner. They were coming out dressing up as clowns during that game, and then they somehow still beat the Colts and knocked them out of the playoffs.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, that was bad. Yeah, that wasn't good. But I don't know. I think he's got a little in the tank, Omar.
I'm not even acknowledging that statement, my friend. I'm not acknowledging that.
Do you think anybody picks up Carson Wentz?
I mean, he's going to get picked up. Sure, he'll be a backup if he's willing to accept backup money.
I mean, would you take him as a backup?
I would. I'd take him as a backup. Better than Brian Hoyer, who we have. What do you mean?
Some other show call him
But he's too expensive for a backup. Like, no one's going to pay him what he wants to be a backup. So what he needs to do is go to Tampa Bay with Baker Mayfield and try to get in that throwing competition.
Maybe,
down there and get in there. That would be his best opportunity.
So is Baker the starter there, you think?
Because Tampa don't look good at all.
I mean, who cares? They both suck. Who cares?
You're either going with Baker Mayfield or Kyle Trask. It's either trash or trash at this point.
Trash or trash.
It's the trash that's shiny or the trash that's
just already lit, and then the dumpster. I don't know.
That's accurate.
I think Baker's got a little juice in the tank still.
They have the thing is with Tampa.
Don't hype up Allen coming in with this Oklahoma Baker Mayfield.
The thing is with Tampa, they have some decent talent around him. It's just Baker has to be Baker. He can't be.
Look what he did with the Rams the last game. He came in.
You bring up the Raiders game, I am going to jump through this screen. Okay. Yes, he came back 17 points in the last 2 minutes.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. But it's still Baker Mayfield. Like, come on now. What are we talking about?
So what, you said, is he a step up or down from Carson Wentz?
I mean, he's a step up from Carson Wentz, but that's not saying much.
Well,
Baker Mayfield will never be a playoff winning quarterback in this league.
Okay. All right, so that's kind of wrapping that up. Me and you covered the draft. Alan had a question. Can you give me a pick outside the first round that could be a sleeper for coming out of the draft? Could make a big impact this coming season. And you think about that, Omar. I don't know if you looked at that, but kind of a outside of the first round kind of guy that could make an instant impact
for any team or for
any team. I mean, we'll talk about the Cowboys in a minute.
I look at Houston right now. Tank Dell. Tank Dell has been surprising a lot of people within the Houston organization right now, and they're talking right now that he might be the number one. He might be CJ Stroud's number one this year as a third round pick. So, and then have Mechie on the other side. So that's just what I've heard from Houston channels and whatnot. That Tank Dell has been fantastic for them. They really got a good haul in their draft this year. I mean, they made the move. We saw it live. They made the move to go up from 12 to 3 to get Will Anderson along with CJ Stroud, and they still got a pretty great haul of draft picks. So, and then they also have Xavier Hutchinson too, who, as we Big 12 fans know from Iowa State, he's a pain in the butt to deal with at times. So. So he could be a solid player for them, but I would say Tank Dell. I'll say Tank Dell because I think he's going to have a big impact for them right away.
Really, and he'll be the starter. What you're hearing?
I think so. From what I'm hearing, they really like his production, and then he's been playing very well for them in OTAs. So he might get into that starter role.
Oh wow! What about you, Omar? You got a guy that. Tank Dell, that's kind of a big one. I mean that will be I can barely remember who Tank Dell is, and to be honest, but
I think he graduated University of Houston. So
Houston, okay.
He's a local kid, so it makes sense.
That makes sense too. What about you, Omar? You got a guy outside the first round that could make an impact this year?
You're muted.
All right, cool. I actually got a couple for you here. So,
a couple.
AFC West is looking strong in undrafted free agents. So, the Broncos, shout out Jake Montoya, linebacker Drew Sanders from Arkansas is a beast. I was hoping we would have drafted him, as well as for the Chargers, Dion Henley, another linebacker I was hoping we would have drafted. Now, we did draft cornerback Ja'Cory Bennett out of the University of Maryland. Shout out, I am a Terp alumni. I'm not being a homer, but I think he will also be great. And then in the NFC, I'm actually looking at Dallas. They got this kid called Viliame Fehoko from
no relation to the other Fehoko, actually.
No, there's no is there more? I'm not sure. Anyway,
we have a wide receiver that's named Fehoko too.
He was from San Jose State, and he was a beast, and he's gonna look good. And then Philadelphia. I mean, can we praise Philadelphia's drafts?
No. It's Georgia North. Remember,
it's Georgia North. Kaylee Ringo.
Exactly.
Kaylee Ringo is the one to look out for there. He is going to be a beast as a cornerback. I am seeing him as the next Sauce Gardner, actually.
Really?
Good? That's how high I am on him.
Wow.
Yep.
That's pretty high.
And then speaking of Dalvin Cook, one more, Minnesota running back Dwayne McBride out of UAB.
Really?
And I'll give you one for our team too. The undrafted guy we got out, I think it was Florida A&M, one of the HBCU schools that we drafted. He's like an edge rusher. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but there's been a lot of buzz about him in camp, as well this year.
That's
not Fehoko. No, it's not Fehoko. He went undrafted. This kid
he was a free agent guy. He got picked up after.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's an HBCU guy, so he's been making a lot of buzz. He did great in the Senior Bowl, and he's been making a lot of buzz in camp. So he might sneak into that roster.
We need some help on the line, man. It's been kind of old and back there. I mean,
and Mozzie. I know we said no first round, but Mozzie Smith could probably make an impact right away too. So
Mozzie Smith was an amazing pick for Dallas. That was exactly what they needed. Someone to stuff the interior defensive line.
Which is funny because that wasn't our original pick. It was going to be Dalton Kincaid.
Yeah, it was. Well, I'm kind of glad we.
I'm glad y'all didn't do that.
I'm kind of glad we didn't get Dalton Kincaid. I'd rather have Mozzie than him. So maybe it was a blessing in disguise. Speaking of the Cowboys, let me know. Let's let Omar go first. How much faith do you have in Mike McCarthy taking over as a play caller?
Hey, his track record speaks volumes. And as a Packers coach and play caller, he led them to conference championships and a championship. Will he do the same for Dallas? I believe so. I believe you will win a championship with McCarthy. But I also think McCarthy is a short time to be coach. I believe he's one of those people like Buck Showalter in baseball. You go there, you set him up, you make him feel good, you give him a championship, and then you're fired. McCarthy is a good coach, but it doesn't make him infallible to being fired after he wins a few games and a championship for Jerry Jones. What happened to Jimmy Johnson?
Right. So you say he could bring him a championship and get fired?
I think he could, and he would definitely be fired next year. Sure.
Really?
Yeah. Dude, Look at all these NBA coaches. Look at these NHL coaches. They get fired after winning like the championship. It's the dumbest ever.
I don't know. And if he wins one, they would probably bring him back.
I mean, sure, for 1 year, and then once he goes 4-12, he's out the door.
Mm-hmm. All right, what do you think? You like Mike McCarthy, Alan, as our?
I'm willing to give him. I'm willing to give him an opportunity. Not a lot of positivity. Of course, the media doesn't really like McCarthy that much. A lot of negativity being thrown, Mike McCarthy's way. But I think he's going to have a great year. The players seem to really like the offense that they're running. So they've already come up with a name for it, which I think is a dumb name. They call it the Texas Coast offense, which is like a play on which is kind of like a play on Texas toast, I guess. But it's dumb. It's dumb.
Who came up with that?
I don't know. It was like a Newsbeat reporter or somebody like that. I don't know. Oh, Isaiah Land, by the way, is who I was thinking of out of Florida A&M. He's going to be really solid this year. But yeah, I think the offense will be fine. It usually is. And besides, you're in the NFC. Who do you have to worry about other than San Francisco and Philadelphia?
Right. That makes sense.
Giants ain't gonna stop anybody.
I'm willing to give him a chance. I got frustrated with Kellen Moore so much. I mean, no one praised him more until after he was gone from the Cowboys, and everybody thought, "Wow."
Well, this is the thing about that. No. This is the thing about that, Flo, is that Kellen Moore is the perfect OC for the Chargers and what they need right now. But he is not what Dallas needs. They are two completely different teams with two completely different offensive identities that need to be treated differently with different OCs.
Well, and then I try to tell people, it's like, yeah, he's a top 10 offensive coordinator. They've had a top 10 offense the last 3 years. But what did they do in the playoffs? Both 49er games, they didn't show up. Kellen Moore didn't show up at all in either of those playoff games against the 49ers, and that's part of the reason why the Cowboys didn't move on. That's why they moved on from Kellen Moore.
And the Cowboys are going to have to deal with the Eagles, as we talked about. And I think I saw a comment on there, Flo, by the way, if you don't mind me saying. I think I saw a comment from one of our fans here. Thank you. We appreciate you, brother. But it seems like he was talking about he trained with Sauce Gardner and that Kaylee Ringo would not be as good as him. So I'm going to take my man's word for that, and we're going to go with that. But I still think he'll be pretty good.
Cowboys will go as far as Dak.
Ain't that the truth? That's the truth every season.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
Calm down, man. Calm down. I thought we were friends here.
I mean, I love Dak, but come on now. When are we going to give up this experiment?
Dak is more consistent than that, though. I mean, he had a bad year last year. I've always taken this. Once you get the quarterback, you give him about 4 or 5 years in the league. You take his best year, or even longer. You take his best year and his worst year, and whatever he does in the middle, that's kind of what he is. And Dak's never been a guy who's just a high volume interception guy.
He's basically Tony Romo. He's basically Tony Romo. He's had the same type of injury history. You know, he's had the same type of issues that
he's Tony Romo with less pocket awareness. I would say
he's Tony Romo with a defense. Let's just say that.
Yeah, maybe
he's a dark-skinned Tony Romo.
Other than when DeMarcus Ware was in town, and you know this, other than when Ware was in town, the Cowboys didn't have a defense to go with what they had on offense. Kirk Cousins is Kirk Cousins is worse. I don't trust that man. I don't trust that man after noon.
I don't know if that's true.
No, I agree. Kirk Cousins is not.
I will trust Dak Prescott after 4 p.m. There's a difference.
Cowboys fans, who's better, Romo or Dak?
Romo's better to me. He just never had a defense. He carried the Cowboys for like 5-6 years with nothing around him until they finally started building around him, and then he started getting hurt. So to me, Romo's definitely better.
Yeah, it's
any bad Jessica Simpson though, right?
That automatically gets you brownie points. So you're automatically going to get brownie points for that. Wasn't it Carrie Underwood too?
That's my son-in-law.
Hey, Elias, what's good, baby?
What's up, Elias? What's any link if you want to jump in?
Carrie Underwood before she became sole property of NBC.
My friend, when you have a residence in Vegas, you don't need no man. Let me tell you that much.
Yeah. Hey, did your mic turn off? You sound kind of like faded out.
Oh, I said, my bad. That was my fault. I said, when you got a residency in Vegas, you don't need no man.
I guess so. Yeah. So, speaking of, we talked a little bit about some draft picks, and me and Alan were talking about how we were screwing for a running back for who knows how long while the Patriots were drafting all these guards. We were like, get a running back.
Get a guard. Another
guard. I was like, I actually wanted A-Chain from A&M, or Eric Gray would have been okay with me from Oklahoma. Zach Evans, I screamed for 2 rounds for Zach Evans. And then finally they drafted Deuce Vaughn. We all talked about him. I don't know if we've ever had a scat back like him. Kind of a Sproles, because he's a scat back, but he's built like Sproles, just real thick. It just scares me that he's 5'5" and 180 pounds. He just seems really, really small, but he's built like a bowling ball. I mean, he's stout. So what do you think? You think Deuce Vaughn can contribute this year?
Oh, yeah. I'd like to say that if he was 6'1", he'd be a first or second round pick.
Of course.
If he was 6'1", he'd be a first or second round. I mean, did you see what he did in the Big 12?
Oh, yeah.
I hated that guy with a burning passion. He torched us. He torched us last year.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, and you saw him in the Big 12 title game. He
people will say,
TCU
Big 12 doesn't
pretty
play
good.
defense.
And they're planning on using him as a wing back kind of, maybe like a slot type of guy. As you mentioned, that Darren Sproles type of, he will be solid. I think he will be. I think he'll be solid too.
That's exactly what I was thinking, was like a Darren Sproles type of player.
Right.
I'll tell you this right now, Flo. He's probably going to replace Turpin as the punt returner, as the kick returner.
That's what I was thinking too. I would. What if we had them both back there in the kickoff? That would be kind of cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I mean, Turpin didn't do too bad last year. He didn't score, but I think he had the best net yardage.
I mean, he scored in preseason.
Did he play any receiver for y'all, or did he just do kick?
A couple times. It wasn't that, and that's part of the problem, is that they expected him to kind of be a little bit of both, and he just couldn't pan out.
Or at least he hasn't so far. They still hung on to him, didn't they?
Yeah, they hung on to him. On to him.
I think Turpin will have a better season this year.
And plus with Cooks coming in, that takes pressure off of some of these younger guys too. So they don't have to step up right away and be that guy. So
Cooks, I think that was the biggest acquisition we had in Austin. I mean, we got him early. It seems like, and everybody's forgotten that we have him. But Cooks is, CD, Brandon Cooks, and Gallup. I mean, to me,
both good pickups. Brandon Cooks and Stephen Gilmore were 2 prime pickups, and that, I believe, is what's going to propel Dallas.
It seems like so long ago that we picked them up that no one's really paying attention. And the more I look at the Cowboys, looking at Stephon Gilmore on the other side of Diggs, The defense is looking really
wild. Let me ask you this, Flo. Do you think the Cowboys take a stab at D-Hop?
Part of me says that they are. But part of me thinks that they are.
Why not?
Well, I mean, you know how Jerry is. If Jerry has a chance to go get a primetime player, he's going to go do it.
That's a great compliment to CeeDee Lamb.
He definitely is a great compliment. I think Gallup could be that 3 guy instead. Or he could be the 4th guy, and Brandon Cooks.
And I'll tell you this: CeeDee Lamb in the slot last year, and you saw it all year last year. He was phenomenal.
Right.
When they moved him as a slot, when you moved him inside to the slot, he did phenomenal. You put D-Hop. I was going to say you put D-Hop on one. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
I got to say this before I forget, and I want you to continue with your D-Hop comment. But in the slot, CeeDee Lamb only dropped 1 pass last year.
Mm-hmm.
In the slot.
Yeah. So you put D-Hop on the outside, you put Brandon Cooks on the other side. You can interchange them if you want to, and CD be a primary slot guy. He's still going to be your number 1, regardless. He's still going to be the guy Dak goes to when he needs a first down, because they don't have a tight end to do that now. I mean, but yeah. So you do that. You put D-Hop on the outside. That gives you a deep threat. Brandon Cooks is a deep threat as well. That gives you a guy. Well, with D-Hop, you can get a guy, and you're basically getting Amari Cooper back, but better. He's a great route runner. He's great. He can go up and get a pass. He's a lot bigger frame. And then you got
I don't know.
Cooks on the other side. Cooks on the other side is a deep threat. That just opens the field up wide open, especially for CD in the slot, because that way he can just work the middle and he can dominate.
Is that you, Elias? You want to get in? I gotta send you a different one. I'll send it to you on your Facebook. Yeah, so I don't know. I feel like Jerry last year he was saying he would do anything to get another Super Bowl. I mean, to me. Oh, okay, Jake. Yeah, I'll send it to you guys. But anyway, so to me, it just feels like this would be a move that Jerry made, kind of go all in and have. I mean, can you imagine Brandon Cooks, CeeDee Lamb, and DeAndre Hopkins on the same team? I mean, Dak would have zero excuse.
Zero
excuse to not take us. I don't know. I would say at least to the Super Bowl, even if we don't win it.
Because otherwise, they're trading up to number 1 and going to get Caleb Williams.
And the Mexican cartels are running inside of the stadium. Because Jerry Jones owns a part of that too, believe me.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
If you think Jerry Jones ain't in the favelas out there just getting his groove on, son,
what are you talking about?
He is doing, you know what? He's doing Wolf of Wall Street off of some girl, and if you know what that means, you know what that means. What? Let's not act like Jerry Jones ain't a rich white man.
All right, come on now, Omar. What are you doing?
Oh my god! Oh, I'm crying.
Oh no!
Oh my god, that was hilarious.
So, okay.
It's just funny because it's probably accurate.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
God, right now.
Don't say
What do you think we'd be doing? Tell me. I'll give you one guess. What would Jerry Jones and I be doing on his yacht right now?
You've been enjoying yourself out on the water.
With what?
With a drink, a nice cold drink.
Probably. And what else?
And some sun lotion.
What else?
Nice hookers and cocaine.
And some strippers and some cocaine and maybe
what
a
are you
couple
talking
beers.
about? What is this? What are you talking about?
I mean, if you have a $328 million yacht, what else are you doing on there?
Oh my god.
Oh my. This has gone off the rails.
I don't agree with it, but I'm saying it happens.
You've got to be
Alan, don't look at me like that.
Yeah, look at him like that.
I don't agree with any of this. Just saying.
So do any of this. This is
I
all
don't
totally
condone
wrong.
any of this.
I do not condone any of this.
Do not condone any of this.
The Ball and Blood Sports does not support any
This is what you guys do over
strippers
there,
on
Ball and
yachts.
Blood? Is this your discussions you have over there? What are y'all doing over there?
Hey, sometimes you gotta have those hard discussions, my friend.
Gotta have those heart to hearts.
Anything else on the Cowboys other than that Jerry Jones on the yacht? Let's not.
No, good.
Nah.
Please, let's not go anywhere. Let's stay off of the yacht, Jerry Jones yacht, and
It is a nice yacht, though.
Flo, would you not go on Jerry Jones's yacht if he invited you?
not if that's what's going on.
No. Maybe it's a nice dinner. Maybe it's just a nice dinner.
If it's a nice dinner, yeah, I would go. But not all that, whatever that is. No. Definitely not. Not for me. But anyway, so let's go to the NBA. A couple things in the NBA. There was a rumor out there that Kyrie had talked to LeBron about coming to the Mavericks. And then there was a rumor about Chris Paul. He got released from the Suns, and then he was going to go play with LeBron and the Lakers. It looks like the Kyrie one was just kind of some Kyrie's can't put it out. But anyway, CP3 got released. Where do you think he should end up? Should the Suns just re-sign him? What do you think, Omar? Or should he go to play with LeBron? What do you think? What's the best landing spot for CP3?
Yeah, we talked about this last time, right? So the Kyrie thing is a stunt. If they could get
we talked about him and wanting to get LeBron to go play with him.
Yeah, so, aside
But
from that,
CP3, he hadn't gotten released yet. I'm just trying to figure out where CP3 should end up.
yeah, I think CP3, and I would if I were the Lakers, sign him. That's the exact kind of complement player they need to win a championship. They went to the conference finals last year. They signed a whole bunch of players, or traded for players as well. Rui Hachimura, Austin Reeves, all these other complement players. D'Angelo Russell did not have a good playoffs. They're going to get rid of Dennis Schroeder, as your boy Ken likes to say. So bring in Chris Paul, let him be best buddies with LeBron, and let them try to win a championship together. What worse could you actually do?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
Go ahead.
I mean, I could see it because that's just how things kind of are in the NBA. I really think that they just need to blow up that Laker organization in general.
Blow it up.
Like, I don't think, I'm not sold on LeBron. I'm not sold on Anthony Davis. Even if they did bring Chris Paul in, I'm not 100% sold on it. Hell, I like our Thunder better than the Lakers this year. And look at how many draft picks we're going to get in the next 3-4 years. We got like 12 first-round picks coming in pretty soon.
Right.
So.
But what I'm saying is, why would you bring CP3? You're just getting older.
Yeah,
That doesn't make sense to me.
Because at this point, the Lakers need to go all in, right? You have LeBron, who's also old. So at this point,
but
you need to make every move to win.
Bringing in another player who's also injury prone.
Well, also look at it this way: the Lakers' vulnerability was teams that could run up and down the court. Young teams that could run up and down the court basically had the Lakers' number. And you could throw Denver in that mix too because of just what they are. But
right,
and if you're getting CP3 and like Phil said, you're getting older, that's just going to be more crippling to you. I mean, it would work, yeah, definitely. But I feel like they need to get younger. I think they need to get some young talent in there. Go get a young point guard.
Yeah, but the problem is they're not getting younger until LeBron leaves. LeBron is going to have to leave that franchise before.
But for a 39-year-old guy, he plays pretty good.
No, of course. I mean, LeBron's still.
And I mean, you saw it last year, towards the end of last year. LeBron is almost gassed at this point. He gets exhausted in fourth quarters now. It's like it's not the LeBron of old for sure.
No, I agree with Alan completely. LeBron is getting gassed at this point late in games. Let me ask y'all, because I just saw a Facebook user hit us up with a comment. So I'm going to ask you, Flo, and you, Alan, who would you rather have with the Lakers? Chris Paul or Kyrie Irving?
Kyrie Irving. That's an easy one for me.
Chris Paul.
Wow.
I would rather have.
I would not trust Kyrie Irving with a wet noodle. at this point.
I mean,
they brought him into Dallas, and that tore that franchise down. I would not trust Kyrie Irving with anything right now.
And I'm a Celtics fan, and I will tell you, Kyrie
trust
was the dismantling of that team as well.
I would rather trust Lonzo Ball with his bad health issues than I would Kyrie Irving.
Wow.
Shots fired!
That's pretty bad. I don't know. Chris Paul, he can't stay healthy. Availability.
He gets hurt at inopportune times. I agree, but let's still not act like he's not one of the best point guards of all time, because he is.
I mean, yes, Kyrie is great talent, but here's the thing: it's the baggage that comes with it.
What baggage, though?
The baggage of is off the field antics, off the court antics.
He'll be fine with LeBron. I think he's learned.
You're putting 3 alpha males and Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and Kyrie Irving on the same team. That's not going to work.
So
one of those.
At least Chris Paul and LeBron are good friends, not fake friends like him and Kyrie.
Chris Paul would be a great mediator, as in he would make sure that they continue to play as a team.
What if you bring
rather than individuals?
CP3 and Kyrie.
No.
What the hell?
No.
Because CP3, he knows how to play off the ball. Remember, he played with James Harden. He can play off the ball.
If I'm being honest, I'd rather go watch the Oakland Athletics.
Wow. All right, so speaking of James Harden, he's expected to turn down I guess he's got a player option or something. He still wants to re-sign with the 76ers or go play back with the Rockets. He's also been linked to possibly reunite with KD in Phoenix somehow. I don't know. What do you think Harden does, Omar? What should he do?
Yeah, he's not going back to Phoenix with Durant. That's not happening. Everybody who ever wanted that to happen can stop that right now. Would he like to go back to Houston? Yeah. Speaking of the strippers we just talked about on Jerry Jones's yacht, James Harden likes to frequent the Houston strip clubs, very much so. And I guarantee you he'd be willing to turn down that $35 million player option from Philadelphia in order to go play in Houston. Now, Houston does have a good young squad. They got Ime Udoka, who they hired as coach from our Celtics. They got Jalen Green. They got some other good young players down there that are going to make them good. And Harden could be joining an up-and-comer that could be a playoff team. That being said, I believe Embiid talks him back. I believe he comes back to Philadelphia to run it back with him and Nick Nurse one more time.
You think he re-signs with the 76ers? The only reason I don't think Houston is because Udoka is a more of a defensive guy.
Sure, the power of lemon pepper wings in the middle of a strip club while you're 8 beers is very.
I was gonna say it seems like the only fans in Houston that want him back are the ones in the strip club. So,
oh my God.
Oh, those ladies are missing out on all their money.
Because I've talked to Houston fans about this the last couple days. Nobody wants him back. Neither of them want him back.
Nobody.
I think the best thing for him would be to go back to Philly.
Back to Philly? That's what I think too. Run it back with Philly. I mean, that's what I think. All right,
get you another solid piece to go with Embiid and Harden.
Yeah,
and actually show up in Game 7. By the way,
yeah.
Well, you got Embiid, who's the MVP, so they just need, Tobias Harris is just not the right piece to fit around those.
Yeah.
And again, actually show up in Game 6 and 7 in the playoffs when you're supposed to. So,
James Harden has tended to disappear in the playoffs for sure. At the wrong time, at the least. At the time you don't need him to disappear. So anyway, let's get to the NBA Finals. Wrap it up here. So Game 4 was on Friday. The Nuggets 108-95. They go up 3-1. The Joker got in foul trouble in the second half, but Aaron Gordon and Bruce Brown had great offensive games for them. 27 points for Aaron and 21 respectively for Bruce Brown. Jimmy had 25 points. Bam had 20 and 11 rebounds. What's your thought on Game 4? Does this show that this series is over, or you think that Miami can make push this to another game? Maybe
it's over.
It's over.
It's over. The Nuggets are just too good of a team, and you've got to account on the fact that Miami has played so many games in this postseason. They are the tank, especially with like Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo. The tank is spent at this point. I mean, they played both playing games. 6 against Milwaukee, 6 against New York, and then 7 against Boston. They are gassed.
Well, it looks like Jake's made another adjustment.
Oh man,
he had Heat in 5 at one point, and then he went Heat in 6. Now he's running out of games.
It's gonna be Denver's gonna win Game 5. I'm sorry.
What do you think, Omar? Can the Heat extend the series by a game at least?
What did I say the other day, Flo? Heat in 17. I think that's how many games it would take for them to win even 3. There is no way they are winning this game. There is no way Denver is not closing it out at home. There is no way that Nikola Jokic, who has been an absolute beast, even with foul trouble, still getting almost a triple-double. You got Aaron Gordon looking like the next coming of damn, I don't know who, but somebody really good.
Kind of game
He's not, but it don't matter. Look at Jamal Murray at 15 and 12, and they still won by, 13 or something like that? Miami doesn't stand a chance. Miami's not in it. As Alan said, Jimmy Butler's gassed. Bam Adebayo's gassed. Tyler Hero ain't playing. Duncan Robinson can't hit a 3 to save his life. Kyle Lowry looked like he missing from Bad Boys. You know what? This series is over. It's over. It's over.
It's over.
Go
There's
home.
no chance. Wow.
What are you still doing here? The show's over. Go home. That's what they're telling Miami right now is go home.
Are you still here?
Go home. Get some rest. You're tired. You'll be back.
Vegas seems to agree that they're 9-point favorites in Game 5.
I mean, Miami's going to be back. I think they'll be back because I think they have a solid with Bam and Jimmy there. You can build around them and get some more pieces in there, and I think Miami will be fine going forward.
Can you really build around them?
You can. I mean, you've
How
seen
old
what
are they
Eric's.
now?
I was
How
going to
old are
say,
they
have
now?
you seen what Eric Spoelstra's done?
He's a master.
He's a mastermind.
Spoelstra is a master.
Yeah, he is a great coach. I'll give you that much.
One of the best coaches in the league right now. So
I give the Heat a 20% chance of winning this game. I give them a 20% chance.
Can I get less than 1%? Is that a thing that we do here?
You can do less than 1%.
I'll take I'll take it on a pack of gum and some Cheerios. Thank you.
I don't know. I just feel like they're going to come out. Jimmy's going to come out. I feel like I every time they want to count out the Heat, they come up and do something. So
I mean, I agree, Flo. I just think that
I just
Denver's
can't
just
count
a
them
better
out.
team. They're just a
And
more
they're a
complete
better
team.
But I thought Boston was a better team.
True.
I'd say as long as Jokic doesn't score over 40, because any time in the postseason he scored over 40, the Denver has lost.
Wow.
Yep, that's true.
Hey, guess who's here, Omar?
Who's here?
Who's
here? Is Jake here? Where's he at? Oh, bring him in! Bring him in!
Oh no!
Oh,
And now,
bring him
straight
in!
from Lubbock, Texas, Jake Montoya.
Son,
Bronco
you
and
ain't
the
even
Heat
got a
lover.
working camera. Hate the Heat. Hate the Heat.
Hey, he showed up. I'll give him
Heat.
that much. You know, he showed up. I clapped for him.
Son, you look like you ain't slept in 3 days. What you
Jake, are you going to explain yourself after you call this Heat in 5? Mark my words, you heard it here first. All your soliloquy about Heat in 5. Hey, you're muted.
You're muted, son.
You're
No
muted,
one
No, volume up, volume up.
Put your volume up, Jake.
Oh, that's the problem, son. Get your mic and camera fixed.
Fix your mic and your camera, buddy.
He can't even say anything.
That's almost like the Heat this whole series.
Just didn't show up. Didn't show up.
Dead, just like the Miami Heat.
Hopefully he goes back. But I just feel like the Heat can pull it out.
At least one.
They got one game in them.
I give them at least one game, but I still think Denver wins.
Right.
Here we
what
go.
does that matter? Right.
Let's bring him back.
Here we go.
See if he comes back.
Oh, come on, Jake.
Come on, Jake. Get in here.
Come on, Jake. Come on, man. Get that.
There he is.
No.
Hold on. Let me unmute you. Come on. Can we hear you, Jake? Go for it. Speak. I can't hear you.
I can't hear him.
You gotta turn your mic. Connect your mic.
Boo.
Boo.
He's so frustrated. He killed the audio in his own phone.
Better get a laptop, son.
Let me unmute you. You're muted for some reason.
Hire a better camera guy.
You gotta connect your mic. It says your mic's not connected.
I love this. I absolutely love this. This is amazing.
Here, this is for Jake.
Boo it! Somebody boo that man!
Oh man, come on, Jake, come back. I want to hear.
Flo. Hey, Alan. Yeah. Tell Dan to send him a laptop too. Nick Montoya needs a laptop too.
Oh man, you're getting roasted, Jake. You got to come defend yourself. Yeah, you got to connect your mic. Your mic's not coming through. I tried to unmute you, but it wouldn't work.
Roasted in this blazing heat.
Back. Yeah. Anyway, like I was saying, I think that you're may pull out one game, and it's of course it has to be this game because they're done if they don't get this game. But I could see Jimmy having one of his 40-point games.
Sure.
Gabe Vincent dropping a few. Adebayo, Martin having good games.
Gentlemen sweep, as I've been saying.
Gentlemen sweep. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying they're gonna win. I could see it happening. I give them a shot. I give them a puncher's chance. I give them a Tyson's comeback chance. When he came back after he was walking.
Oh, okay, that's Tyson.
He always had a puncher's chance, you know. I give him the older Mike Tyson chance.
Man, it's too bad we don't get Jake on here so we can
rail
on him in his Miami. That's too bad.
Yeah. I know Mike kind of roasted him too for that Heat in 5. He said he would write him a nice letter and eat a bunch of crow.
In calligraphy,
yeah.
Tremendous. I died laughing.
It would have been a beautiful letter to see. I would like that letter.
I want to see it, yeah.
It would have been a beautiful letter. I don't know. I'm trying to give him a chance to come back, but it doesn't seem like he's going to come back. So I guess your prediction for Game 5?
Now, Denver.
Denver, all the way?
Dude, you already know mine. Denver in 5.
Well, there you heard it from here first, Jake. You heard it here first. It is a gentleman's sweep, in fact, Jake. But it's the other way around.
Time to get out those broken brooms for that gentleman's sweep.
The gentleman's sweep, buddy.
Bye-bye, Jake. Bye-bye, Jake. See you in football season.
Yep, that's when you got to see him in football season. All right, man. That was fun. I wish Jake could have come in here.
Hey, I got to roll, though, gentlemen, so.
Yeah, that would have been fun, though, if you have Jake in here. Hey, I appreciate you, Alan. When's your next show? When's your next show?
Baseball show Tuesday, 4 p.m. Eastern. Myself, Scott Coe, as you know. And then we have Jonathan Grishman, who's a former minor league player, as part of our crew as well, doing that. So, and then on the football side, got the show State of the Franchise on Wednesday night. We're going to be talking some LA Chargers on Wednesday night, so definitely check that out for sure.
You there, Jake?
Can y'all hear me?
Oh, he's here.
He lives.
On time.
He lives.
He's alive. He's alive.
I hope y'all know. Kyle Lowry said it best. Be ready. Game 6. They're going out. They're going to show up. I'm telling y'all right now. They're going to do it.
We're going to do it.
Game 5, Kyle Lowry said we're going to win it with difficulty. We're going to do the unthinkable.
That's what you came on here with. That's what you came on
I can't wait. Hey, if the refs stop cheating us and they stop trying to back up Jokic, that's the only thing that's going on. Get Jokic in foul trouble early. We'll win it all.
You're going to win it all still. A gentleman's
Heat in 7. Heat in 7.
What happened to you? They're not going to win another game.
Let me tell you something. They got screwed, man. They got screwed yesterday. And you saw it. We all saw the game.
We all saw it.
The refs were screwing.
We saw you got dominated by 13. That's what we saw.
Omar, you must be drunk right now. No doubt in my mind.
You've been drinking, Omar.
I'm a little tipsy. I've been drinking. I'm a little tipsy. I will admit.
He will win tomorrow. I promise you. Be ready.
You better come back if they don't win.
I'll be there.
We might do an NBA
Jimmy
one.
Bucket is about to show why he's the greatest. He's going to match LeBron with the only guy to come back 3-1 and win.
It's happening, Omar. It's going to happen. You heard it here first. What do you think, Alan? They got a shot?
I'll say this. Joe Namath, you are not. I'm sorry. It ends tomorrow night.
Oh, man, I can't wait. Y'all make sure y'all get on the show, too.
We'll be on the show, man.
It's right now or never.
Right now or never. Content. We finally got Jake on the show, and he's always fun. Man, it's crazy. All right, guys. See you next time now. Bottom line, signing out for today. 5 10 2 good